Even the street dog, in whichever street it is, if some new stranger comes to the street, it barks. You are lesser than that. Yes, your life is waste. The very purpose of life is not just getting children and depositing something on their name, something depositing on your name and just leaving the body. Is it that? Anyone can do that. But your duty is to realize something. Yes? In the process, get some children, earn some money, deposit that in the bank and be happy. But don't think there the whole thing is ended. Only a part of your life is okay. Some duty is finished. But the major duty is still there. See, if a person went to a township to work in a factory, he'll be placed in a quarter. Then he'll be given a car and something. So he was sitting in the quarter, enjoying the AC, and just started sleeping in the house, not going to the office. Then what's the use? Giving all these things is to work well. Working is important. Not giving the quarter is important. Not giving the car is important. Duty is important. Do the duty and see that other comforts help you in executing your own duty. For us, realizing soul, realizing relationship of the soul with God is primary thing. And whoever comes with you, yes, are good. Accept them, otherwise keep them in their own limitations. You need not just discard them. This is what we said. There are two things which we have to enjoy. One, samsparsika sukhas we call, and abhimanika sukhas. Samsparsikas are, whatever we enjoy with our senses. Say with our eyes, ears, tongue and skin and so on and so forth. Whatever we enjoy with our senses are called samsparsika sukhas. With touch we enjoy them. Eye to eye contact also is a touch, right? So listening to is also a touch with sound, touch with skin, touch with the tongue. These are called samsparsika sukhas. And there is another variety of sukha which is called abhimanika sukha. Abhimanika means I love this. We create a sort of affection towards some object, though it's not necessary. We show abhimana on that, affection on that. And that's how we create some sort of relationships around us in the world. So, on those things, they are relatives, Abhimanikas means relatives and friends. You need relatives and friends to encourage you to do good, not to discourage you to do good. So, accept them when they allow you to do good. That's why, our people said, whoever helps you in doing something good are all your relatives. Be with them. But it's interesting, our Nammalvar went to a little more deeper into that and said, even who discourages also good for us. You know how? In one of his songs he says, Nammalvar, Uravar kavvai yuruvittu. Uravar kavvai. People in my village are always scolding on me whenever I go to temple. Whenever I sing the praise of Lord, then they say, Hare, you are not at all useful like that. But the kavai, whenever they scold on me, this is encouraging me, this is giving a sort of inspiration in me. You want me to not to do that? I should do this. You know the mentality of children, right? If you say, don't do that, the child thinks, I want to do this. The more you deny, the more the child loves to do that. To do good, if you have such tendency, it's good. Even people hate you at times, that encourages you to do good. Let such people be there. So, that is our alvar, Even Uravar kavai, Yanakulle irkira bhakti, என்கிற ஒரு விருட்சம், ஒரு செடி ஜாஸ்தி ஆகிறதுக்கு அது ஒரு எரு. Whenever they say don't go to temple, my heart says to think more about that particular temple, the particular lot, like that. So accept your relatives and friends whenever they encourage you. Otherwise, just keep them at their own limitations. Putra dara gruhadishu anabhishvangaha. And then nityam cha samachittatvam ishta anishta upapattishu. Though you have all these qualities cultivated, still something may go wrong. Sometimes something may fall on you, though you never wanted that. Sometimes ishtam happens, sometimes anishtam happens to you. You have to face it. But while facing that, let the body take the responsibility. Let not the heart disturb. Most of the times, though something is physically good, but our heart gets disturbed. Our manas, we think, oh, he's not good. And then, whenever look at him, our heart starts burning. And we think, oh, someone is good. So whenever we see him, then our hearts are asking, oh, our hearts always feels joy. Really, he may not be a good one. And really, the person may not be a bad one also. Ravana, whenever he happened to see Vibhishana, he used to burn like anything. But Vibhishana was a good person. Vibhishana was always guiding him to do good. But Ravana always took him in a negative way, and whenever he happens to see him, then his heart used to burn. There are some people like that. Maybe they are advising something good for us, but we may not be in a position to take it easily. And then we get upset with them. Let your heart not get upset with the things that are happening around you. Nityam cha samachittatvam. Let ishta come, let anishtam also fall on you. But keep the heart intact. Some people may think, how it is possible to accept both in same way? It's not a physical thing that Krishna says. It's mental status Krishna recommends to you. Mentally be balanced. Physically, whatever, if something hurts, then you will cry. If somebody, you feel happy because it's a positive fragrance. And if somebody throws some dirt on you, it's having a bad odor, so you feel like that. That reaction must be there, otherwise your nose is not at all functioning. You can't take both of them equally. If somebody touches like this, then if it is nice touch, then you feel happy. If somebody beats you like this, then it should burn, otherwise the leg has become paralyzed. You can't take both of them equally. If something cuts the leg, you should be in a position to perceive that. Or if some shoes are there, then you feel happy. In spite of cutting, if you are not able to know, means that leg became diabetic. It's not at all doing good work. So you shouldn't be like that. Know things, let body react. Let not the heart react. That is samachitta. Krishna wonderfully said. Nityam cha samachittatvam. Where? Ishta, anishta, upapattishu. Let sometimes whatever we liked much may go away from us. At times, whichever just we never liked may fall on us. Then now we become upset. Don't get it. These are a steps what Krishna recommends for us. These happen one after one. If you first develop this acharyopasanam, stairyam, atmavinigraham, then indriyardeshu vairagyam starts. When vairagyam starts, then you get anahankara. When ahankara comes, then the next one, you can see the problems with the body. You can understand the real nature of the body. When that happens, slowly you can develop asakti. When asakti is there, then you can keep people in their own limitations. When that is there, then you can answer your mind, your manas. At times, manas may run after them and you say, hey manas, this is the real nature, don't get upset, be happy, Let something happen to the body. Yes, it is for the body only. We are not losing anything. Yes, be happy. We are always good. You can reply. You can give right answer to your manas, and you can satisfy the manas for good as well as the bad. So, anabhishwangaha is abhimanikas. Krishna asking you to keep control. And indriyartheshu vairagyam, Krishna says to have samsparsikas to keep under control, which make other things become possible. And finally Krishna says, Mayicha. In addition to all of these things, very important and very major things which we have to do is Mayicha ananya yogena bhaktihi avyabhicharini. This is very important thing. Let us discuss about that tomorrow. Taram sarvasampadam lokabhiramam sriramam bhuyo bhuyo namamyaham. Krishna rakshatu no jagatraya guruhu Krishnam namasyamyaham. Krishne nama rasatravo vinihataha Krishnaya tasmai namaha. Krishna deva samuthitam jagadidam Krishnasya dasosmyaham. Krishne tishtati visvametadakhilam He Krishna samrakshamam. Priya Bhagavad Bandhu, among 1,000 names Lord has, Anirvinnaha is one of the names. Just now we chanted those names, right? Anirvinnas sada marshi lokadhishthanamadbhutamaha. Anirvinnaha. Anirvinnaha, nirvedam avanaka kadayad. He has no nirvedam. He never gets disappointed with us. We always make him to get disappointment. He tries to rectify our problems by his repeated incarnations. In each incarnation, he preached something and he tried to keep us on righteous path. But he is doing his own effort and we are doing our own effort to escape from him. So, Sri Parasara Bhattar says, நாம் எத்தனை குத்தங்கள் பண்ணினாலும் மறுபடியும் பிறந்து நம்மை திருத்துவதற்கு அவன்தான் தகும். அவன் எத்தனை திருத்த முடிஞ்சாலும் எத்தனை திருத்த ஒருப்பட்டாலும் அதை தப்பிச்சு கொண்டு போவதற்கு நாம் தான் தகும். He always tries, tirelessly he is trying on us to rectify our problems and keep us on right track. Even today he is trying, keeping our hearts as his divine abodes. He is right now here with us. He is Anirvinnaha. He always keeps preaching, teaching to us. As a mom tries to teach something to her son. When once she teaches something, he says, no, I don't want that. And again she calls on him and say, Babu, do this, Nana. Babuji, please do this, Nana. Naya, Bhaya. Like that she uses so many tricks to teach him something. If after Akshara Swikaram, our mom holds our hand and says, come on, write, she says so, and we holding the pencil in our hand and just we start doing this and that. We must have seen so many of our children. We write in our own way. They wanted us to write in a way, but leaving that aside, we do our own things. This is the human tendency. In spite of that, he tried several times. And in Krishna incarnation, his compassion, boundless compassion, brought Bhagavad Gita onto this earth. And in that, in 12 chapters, he revealed all that we should know, all that is needed for us. And after Arjuna believed in Krishna's preaching, by seeing his universal form, then Krishna again started preaching the quintessence of all those 12 chapters, classifying each topic. Like in 13th chapter, he talks about the body and the soul, what body has to have, how we have to look at the body, and what we have to practice while we are in this body. And if we practice such things, then what we are going to experience? What is the real nature of this soul? If it is not at all attached with this karma. All these things were explained to us in 13th chapter. Krishna recommended 19 things to be practiced, and we were discussing about those things. And here are few more things which he wanted us to learn. Nityam cha samachittattvam ishta anishta upapattisu. In spite of our repeated efforts to keep us always on the right track, though we are putting our efforts, so many hurdles might appear, might occur on the way. And if there are certain hurdles like, somebody comes and takes away our ways, somebody comes and give us something which we never needed, then what to do? We will get upset. But we are not supposed to get that. Physically, what you have to do, what you ought to do, do that. To protect or to give. But mentally, you have to keep the balanced state of mind. Rama was invited to the assembly one day, and Dasharatha announced kingdom to Rama. Hey Rama, tomorrow your Pattabhishekam is going to be celebrated, coronation. Then Rama said, it's fine. Neither he said no, nor yes, because Father knows, and whatever has to be enjoyed, we have to enjoy them, that's all. Rama left the assembly. After assembly is dispersed, again Dasharatha called on him to his own chamber and said, hey Rama, you didn't express any of your feelings there in the assembly when I announced the kingdom to you. Tomorrow you are going to be coronated. You know why, my son? Because I am getting very bad dreams. I don't know what happens in the near future. So I want to see you always on the seat as king. My son, what do you say? Then just he did namaskara, and Dasharatha sent him to his own place. Every arrangement was made. Waters from different sacred rivers were brought, and so many pujas were celebrated, performed. Dasharatha instructed Rama to observe fasting in the temple of Ranganatha along with his wife during that night. Sahapatnya Visyalakshya Narayanam Upagamat. And early in the morning he returned to his room. Suddenly he got a message that father is calling him on. He went to his father, and father was in a senseless state. And mother Kaika said, my son, your father is suspecting whether you obey him or not. And he said, my mom, you can instruct me. There is no difference between you and my dad. Come on, you can tell me what my father wanted to tell. And then she said, your father gave 2 boons. The first one, you have to go to the forest and Bharata has to be coronated. My mom? Really? Is it so? Rajyam va? Vanavaso va? Vanavaso mahodayaha. Immediately his response was, if it is with someone else, his heart will be broken to pieces and something, might happen. But Rama immediately said, my mom, I never thought that you are having this much love towards me. People usually say, Kaika loves Rama more than Kausalya. Only I heard these words earlier, but today I am experiencing this. Because after my marriage celebration is over, I didn't go to honeymoon so far. I was remaining in the kingdom only. But today you thought to send me to honeymoon, to enjoy honeymoon to the forest for 14 long years. My God. And at the same time, my mom, ruling people, just ruling the kingdom is not a small job. So much responsibility, so many troubles and problems, stresses and strains we have to cross through. Such responsibility you are imposing on my younger brother. Usually, the responsibility of the family always rests on elder son. And younger children will be given freedom to enjoy things. This is same. Even today we do the same. But here, it is something different. You want me to enjoy the forest, serving sages, and enjoying the beauty of the forests and other things, imposing this responsibility, this strainful and stressful responsibility on the younger Bharata. I really now just experiencing your true love towards me now. Rajyam va, vanavaso va, vanavaso mahodayaha. Vanavasam is really giving me joy to go and enjoy there. Rama, while going into the chamber of Kaika, he went with smiling face. So many friends followed him because he is going to be the king. So he was a big following then. All they were just stopped at the door and he went inside. This discussion took place. Again he was returning with the same smiling face. No facial changes. Others' faces will become this much black. But Rama just came with smiling face. It's interesting. While going into the chamber of Kaika, he was joyously looking at the waters that were arranged for his abhishekam. But while coming back, while returning from the chamber, he made a parikrama to those things and just left. Because before he knew the news, these are for him. These are for my coronation, they are arranged. So, with joy, he has seen them. But now when returning, these are for the king. So, we have to respect the pujas, we have to respect the waters, we have to respect all that is arranged for the king. So, he did a pradakshina and did namaskara and just left that place. Samachittata. Nityam cha samachit. With his father that is not there. That was not there. It is interesting. When Kaika said Rama to be sent to the forest, then Dasaratha got upset and ultimately he left the body also. After Ravana was killed, along with all the devatas, Dasaratha also appeared there and said, Rama, I didn't realize this is the drama played by devatas. Otherwise, how Kaika becomes, that much stronger with her word, steadfast. I want this, that's all. Whether you go to hell or heaven, I am not bothered. I want this to be done, that's all. That's how she was. Usually she was so, soft-natured. But I don't know what happened, what made her to be like that. Probably I thought these devatas played a wonderful drama and made Kaika like that. I realized this fact today, my son. This was Dasharatha, but Rama, as replica of human nature, one should